When I came back from work, I saw my 6-year-old daughter standing outside freezing in the snow. I slammed on the brakes and jumped out of my car. Nora, baby, what are you doing out here? She was shivering violently in just her school clothes, no coat, tears frozen on her little cheeks. Daddy locked me out. He said I can't come back until you get home from work. My heart dropped. It was 9 p.m. on a Friday. Jonathan knew I always worked late on Fridays. This wasn't an accident. How long have you been out here? Since you left this morning, she whispered. I scooped her up, feeling how ice cold her little body was, and carried her toward our front door. It was locked. I used my key, fury building with every step. I found Jonathan exactly where I expected, sprawled on the couch in his boxers and t-shirt, controller in hand, playing Call of Duty. The heat was cranked up to 75 degrees. Empty beer cans littered the coffee table. Why was our daughter outside for 12 hours? I tried to keep my voice calm. He didn't even pause his game. She spilled grape juice on my new controller this morning. I told her actions have consequences. I stared at him in disbelief. She's 6 years old, Jonathan. She spilled juice accidentally and you left her outside to freeze. Maybe next time she'll be more careful around my stuff. That's when I noticed Nora's pink backpack sitting by the front door. It was stuffed full, bulging at the seams. Her favorite stuffed bunny was sticking out the top. What's this? I pointed at the bag. Jonathan finally paused his game and turned to look at me. There was something cold in his eyes I'd never seen before. I've been doing a lot of thinking today while she was outside, he said slowly. This whole family thing isn't working out for me. Nora's too much work, too expensive, too loud, and honestly, I never wanted kids in the first place. The room started spinning. What are you talking about? I'm talking about you taking her and leaving. Tonight. I already had the locks changed while you were at work. You just got lucky I hadn't switched them out yet. I felt like I was in a nightmare. You're abandoning your own daughter? Nora was still clinging to me, her wet clothes soaking through my work blazer. She was listening to every word, her big brown eyes darting between us. Here's the thing. Jonathan stood up, stretching like this was all perfectly normal. She's not really mine anyway. I mean, yeah, biologically whatever, but I never signed up for this dad life. You can have her. The casual cruelty in his voice made me sick. This was the man I'd been married to for 8 years. The man who used to read Nora bedtime stories. Jonathan, she's your daughter. You can't just watch me. He picked up his phone. I already talked to my buddy Steven, who's a lawyer. Apparently, if I just voluntarily give up my parental rights, I don't have to pay child support either. Win-win. My hands started shaking, but not from fear, from rage. I pulled out my phone and speed dialed a number I'd hoped I'd never have to use. Hi, Christine, it's Caroline. Remember that emergency custody documentation we discussed 6 months ago? File everything, tonight. Jonathan's controller slipped from his hands. What are you doing? What you should have expected when you decided to mess with my daughter. I hit another number. Dad, it's happening. Can you come get us? Bring the truck. Caroline, you can't just take her. Jonathan jumped up from the couch. I smiled, and I knew it looked cold as ice. Actually, I can. See, Jonathan, I've been documenting your behavior for months. The times you called Nora a mistake. The texts where you said you wished she'd never been born. The videos of you screaming at her for normal kid things. His face went completely white. My lawyer has everything. Screenshots, recordings, witness statements from the neighbors who've seen how you treat her. I kissed Nora's forehead. She was finally starting to warm up in my arms. Oh, and here's my favorite part. Nora's birth certificate, medical records, school enrollment. Everything's in my name only because you said paperwork was too much hassle and made me handle it all. Dad's headlights appeared in our driveway. You have zero legal rights to her, Jonathan. Zero. And after tonight's little stunt with locking her outside, any judge in the country will grant me full custody with a restraining order. I grabbed Nora's backpack with my free hand and headed for the door. Say goodbye to your daughter, Jonathan. It's the last time you'll ever see her. Nora finally spoke up in her tiny voice. Bye, Daddy. He just stood there, staring as we walked out forever. 2 years later, Nora doesn't even remember him. And I'm remarried to someone who calls her his daughter and means it. Jonathan, still playing video games alone in that empty house. Some people get exactly what they deserve.